Hi, I'm Alan from Cummins Spinners. Cummins Spinners is located in Australia and has been making spinners for 12 years. Today we're launching a series of 13-inch spinner kits for the RV range of aircraft. The initial kits being launched are for the Hartzel constant speed propeller and the Sensenich fixed pitch propeller. With the Sensenich fixed pitch kit, you'll receive from Cummins Spinners in Australia a spun aluminium cone already cut out and flanged to suit the Sensenich fixed pitch propeller. You'll also receive all the hardware required: anchor lock nuts, washers, screws and rivets. To finish the kit off, you'll need to buy from Vans the rear back plate, part number 602-1, and you'll also need to buy the front plate, which is part 605-SEN. You'll need both those parts from Vans to complete the spinner kit. With the Hartzel constant speed propeller kit, we supply a 13-inch spun aluminium cone with the cutouts already done for the Hartzel propeller, which is also flanged, as you can see. We also supply the new front plate to suit the aluminium cone. It is already pre-drilled with the holes required to fit on the front of the Hartzel hub. From Vans, you'll also need to buy the 602-1, the back plate, and the stiffening plate required for the Hartzel propeller, 602-B. In the kit also you receive all the necessary hardware: anchor lock nuts, rivets, screws and washers. Over the next series of short videos we'll demonstrate to you how to make up the paper template so you can mark all the holes on the cone so you can fit your spinner. First of all, you need to get a paper large enough so you can draw a full 13-inch circle. The easiest way is two A3 pages joined together. With the paper now on the table, you'll need a large ruler. Draw a line from one side of the page to the other side. Pick a rough centre point and mark it. From the centre point, adjust your ruler so you measure 6 inches and 9/16 from both sides of the centre line, and mark that. The overall measurement between the dots should be 13 inches and 1/8, or millimetres 333 millimetres, 333. Just check that and verify it. Now you've done that line, you need a large protractor, and perpendicular or at right angles to the line you've drawn, with the centre of the protractor on the centre point, draw a straight line out back to the centre. From the centre point, also at the same time on that side, mark out your line at 6 inches and 9/16, or 166.5 millimetres, like so. Do the same for the other side again perpendicular to the line. Draw the line and mark 166.5 or 6.9/16. Now get your dividers and set them at 3 inches and 3/8 or 86 millimetres. Place the dividers at where the straight lines intersect on the circle and divide that quarter and confirm that that measurement is working for your drawing, which it does. You can do the same over this side as well, on the other half of that quarter. It does. Once you confirm the measurements are correct, get your pencil or Sharpie and actually mark where the divider hits. Just a small dot, doesn't have to be too big. On both sides of that half of the circle. Put the dividers down, get a long ruler and draw these lines running from that dot through the centre of your circle, and draw a line on the opposite side like so. This has completed dividing your circle into 12 equal segments. We'll actually only work on 6. So what you do is then every second cross that one out, 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 and that one out. You've now got 6 equal segments and divided the circle. Next, retrieve your retractor, put it across the whole circle, make sure it runs through the centre to your marks that you did, the ones you didn't cross out, and draw a line all the way across, running through the centre. Then, with the protractor, move it slightly outside the circle and draw a line perpendicular across to the line you just drawn. You'll end up with this shape here. Now do that for the other 5 lines that you've got. After doing those 5 lines, this is what your circle now should look like. You've got a circle divided into 6 equal segments, and at the end of each segment is a right angle line running out to the side. This segment of the video is for marking up the distance the front plate holes are up the cone for a Hartzel constant speed propeller. That distance is 233 millimetres or 9 inches and 3/16. Mark that on your protractor, that distance, and then build it up with masking tape so that when you bring your pen down to that mark, you actually hit the masking tape. This will help you for the accuracy all the way around the cone. If you just rely on marking it with your eye, you'll find your holes will move up and down a mil or so. And when you bring your pen down to it, it comes down and sits in that little corner. Makes marking very easy. Now the next step is pick up your back plate, put it roughly in the centre of the circle. Grab your cone, again making sure it's bedded right down onto the back plate correctly. And then these marks here are where your screws will be up here for your front plate. Centre those marks where you are happy in relation to your cutout. And while the cutout's in that position, get some masking tape and just go around in a few spots and lock your cone down. Just 4 or 5 pieces, doesn't really matter. Make sure you don't cover up one of your marks because you will not be happy. And you've got to pull it up again. But you don't want this to move anymore while you're setting this bit up. That's basically done. Okay, now you've taped your spindle onto the paper so it's locked down. We then get another set of hands which magically appear and place the ruler on the lines that you drew at right angles to those lines. Place your protractor between the ruler and then this locks the protractor from sliding in and out, and mark using the masking tape as your mark. Put a dot where the screw hole should be. Go around that and do the other 5 holes. Now that I've finished marking my 6 holes, I then use a suitable metal scribe. I like using a wooden countersinker. Use that, mark your hole in the centre, push it in so you get that little mark, and then once you've done that to the 6 holes, you are now ready to drill with a 332 drill your pilot holes ready to mount your front plate. In this step now, we're going to mark out the holes for attaching the cone to the back plate. From the cutout, mark approximately 9 millimetres in, or 3/8, and just put a simple mark. Do that for the other side also. Then, with your dividers again, because we're going to place 7 screws around this particular one, with your dividers, you need to divide that between that line on this side and the line on the other side of the cutout into 6 equal parts. In our case, we know it's around 64 millimetres or 3 inches and 33/64. Go around from that point there and physically divide the cone into your segments. Go all the way around and ensure that it hits the mark on the other side. You may find your measurement slightly different, but that goes with each one depending on how accurate you've done this 10mm or 9mm gap. Once you've done that, mark each of the points in your divider, mark each of the lines of where the dividers hit, and continue on round to finish it. Now we've divided our back plate into our 6 equal segments. We need to mark the holes on the back plate, how high up. The back plate is 5/8 in thickness, in height. So we basically put our holes through the back plate, through the cone, at 7mm or 9/32s. We use the same method we did with the protractor, and using masking tape or suitable material to build up so you've got a lip, so when the pen touches it hits the lip. You can also get a piece of scrap aluminium and cut a little V to do the same. But basically what you're doing is marking each hole at the right height using your marker, then just come back to each of those holes. Once you've done that holes, same situation, we just scribe, indent each hole with a mark, take the cone and remove the cone from the back plate because you don't want to drill through the back plate at this stage. Remove the back plate and drill pilot holes through the 7 holes or 14 holes right round the whole lot in 3/32 holes.